Welcome to the Anything Goes podcast. I'm your host, Kombat AllStar, and tonight I am going to be talking about E3. Now, you guys, long-time listeners know I usually upload the Anything Goes podcast at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, but today, since E3 was happening, I wanted to wait till all the conferences were over before I went ahead and talked about E3, which I think is a wise decision because Sony's press conference is actually still going on. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that in the background. Hopefully not, if I edit this audio right, but they're playing the last bit of it is some gameplay of I can't remember the name of the game. I think it's called End of Days, actually. So they're playing some of that in the background. You may or may not be able to hear that. Hopefully not, but if so, that's what's going on. I digress. I'm not gonna. It would take way too long to talk about every single briefing, every single conference, and let you guys know everything that happened, because these conferences were really long and Sony's press conference was so overwhelming that it's just it'd be a lot to take in. So I'm just going to kind of cover the things that stood out to me the most and the things that I'm looking forward to the most. And I'll start off with I guess it'll be in chronological order as far as when they talked about the games, maybe not. But the things that I'm most excited about is definitely Tekken is one of those things. There are a lot of things, but Tekken 7 is one of those things. I have been itching to play, and when I tell you guys itching, I mean itching to play some good old-fashioned Tekken 7. And it's a shame it's been out for a while now in Japan, and I've been seeing videos and seeing people play it on YouTube. And I'm like, man, when is this going to come to the United States? It's finally going to be coming. It looks amazing. Of course, Akuma is going to be in it, and I heard that one of the biggest reasons why they didn't release it is because the big deal with Street Fighter, how people were really upset about not having a story mode with Street Fighter. So now they're not going to go ahead and repeat the same thing. They're going to actually go ahead and have a story mode and cutscenes in between fighting. So it's going to be awesome. I mean, we didn't get to see much at E3. We saw the trailer, kind of the CGI trailer or whatever, the cutscene cinematic. And then we saw a little bit of gameplay between Heihachi and Akuma. So it wasn't much that we saw, but from what we saw, it looks pretty awesome. And I mean, like I said, the game's been out for a long time in Japan, so if you guys want to actually see a lot of gameplay footage of it, I'm sure there's plenty online. I'll actually drop some in the description below so you guys can check it out. Another one that I was really excited about is the Xbox One custom controller. Now this is really, really cool. The fact that you can actually put your name across it, design it however you want. And yes, I know that custom controllers have been out for a long time. I know this. But to actually have it from the manufacturer, from Microsoft, is awesome. It adds so much credibility to it and adds so much more you can do with it, I feel like. So it just looks awesome. I cannot wait to see it. I cannot wait till it's available. As soon as they said, they announced it, I rushed online to their, Xbox.com, and it was nowhere to be found. So there are some third-party people out there that are doing this. Like I said, this has been around for a while. So they had a lot of really cool stuff up, and I'm sure a lot of people were hitting up their pages after they saw the conference and saw what Xbox is going to be doing. So yes, that is definitely awesome. I'm definitely going to be getting me a Kombat AllStar controller. I don't know, maybe whites with maybe some gold directional pads and gold everything else. I like the gold, if you guys haven't noticed. So yeah, I'm definitely excited about that. The other thing is Scorpio. Now I was really surprised because I did not think that they were going to announce Scorpio. I thought they were just actually no, I take that back. I knew they were going to announce Scorpio, but I didn't think they were going to have this big cutscenes and this whole video package talking about Scorpio. So that was pretty awesome to see that. To see them talking about a console with no boundaries and a console that was made for us. They heard us talking and they were like, you know what? Let's make a console for the fans. So this Scorpio looks amazing. I know I've talked about it already on the Kombat AllStar show. And I was really, really looking forward to E3 to see what they were going to do, see if they were going to show it off. I mean, it's coming out next year. That's relatively close. So I was really hoping that we would get to see what it looks like. And I don't know. It's amazing. And the Xbox One S looks awesome. All white, very, very beautiful. The controller looks amazing. It's all white. I don't know. There's something about having a white console. And I know Nintendo's been doing that for a while with the Wii and Wii U and everything, but I don't really consider those a console. They don't look sexy, you know what I mean? They don't look like a powerful gaming machine. It kind of looks like a toy. And by all accounts, Nintendo, you know, I guess that's what they wanted. They wanted it to be a toy. So I don't really consider that. I know you Nintendo guys are going to hate me probably, but I don't care. I don't really consider it a real console. I don't. It hasn't been for years. I think the last real Nintendo console was the GameCube. Everything after that, you know, it's been a toy. It's been a toy. I digress. Moving on down my list, Watch Dogs 2. Now, I wasn't a fan of the. I thought, you know what, the promotionals and the trailers and everything for Watch Dogs looked amazing. I'm talking about the original Watch Dogs. I went out and bought it, and I was fooled by the marketing team because it was nowhere near as good as they thought they made it out to be. And I was almost tricked by this trailer because I saw it and I was hyping it. I was like, wait a minute. After seeing the gameplay, you know, him hacking the phone and sneaking through people, I'm like, this is exactly like the first game. Only difference is it's a different city, a different character, which who cares? You're only going to see the back of his head, and the guy does parkour. So other than that, it looks exactly like the first game. I'm not sure why anybody would want to play this game. Just go and pick up Watch Dogs. It's way, way cheaper now if you're into that stuff. And I don't know, they hacked the car. I don't get that. And then they talked about a movie. A Watch Dogs movie, which I don't know. They announced the Assassin's Creed movie, and they were talking about how it's going to be amazing and blah blah blah. They brought out the producer, and I went to the movies to see Warcraft, and they showed a trailer of Assassin's Creed. There we go. So Charles trailer of Assassin's Creed, and it didn't look all that great. I mean, it looked like a movie game would look. So I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what to say about that or how to feel about that. But it looked like Tomb Raider back in the day. You know how like Tomb Raider it's an awesome game. It still is a great game. But then they made a movie, and the movie just looked like a cheesier version of the game. That's what it looked like. And they were saying, you know what? We did this, and we're having such success. And I'm not sure how they measure success, but the movie's not even out yet. They were like, yeah, we're having such success that we're going to go ahead and do a Watch Dogs movie. And it's like, why? Why do we need... Okay, so here's my big issue with this. Games that play like movies should not be made into movies. That's like me watching an Uncharted movie. As fun and fantastic as Uncharted is, it will always be an Indiana Jones made into a video game. That's all it is. It's not... indie, the name and the character and the hat and all that, but it is at its core an Indiana Jones made into a video game. So the fact that they would take that concept and turn it into a movie doesn't make any sense to me. It's like you're going backwards. I mean, because with gaming, you get to control the character, you get to play as the character, you get to, move and do things, and your heart beats when someone's about to catch you if you're sneaking around, and pulling off impossible missions with your team because you're calling out to certain people to kind of help you out, whether it's online or it's a story, a campaign, and you have some allies. It's one of those things where you're playing the character and you're so immersed, and that is what makes the game. So you're taking all those elements out and just watching cutscenes of a video game. That's what I feel like it is. With taking something like Assassin's Creed or Watch Dogs, all you're doing is taking the cutscenes from the game and putting it on screen, in live action form. And who wants to see that? I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think it's a good idea. I'm almost positive these movies are gonna fail. I've been talking to people, and no one wants to see this movie. No one cares about Assassin's Creed. No one cares about Watch Dogs. No one wants to see these movies. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. And the fact that they're already signed on for Watch Dogs when they haven't even had any kind of success with Assassin's Creed, and we're talking about Assassin's Creed has been so successful. I don't know. I mean, hopefully they drop it and they're smart, but if they're not, they're gonna lose money. So moving on, Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 looked fantastic. It was one of the highlights of EA's press conference, and it looked amazing. There's a lot. It looked very, very intense. There was a lot more going on. Rockets, flying across the screen. and you jump in, you know, the Titan, and it was just, it's awesome. It's everything that you want it to be and more. They had grappling hooks now, so you can grapple up to top of things. You can grapple people towards you. You know, there's a scene in the trailer, which I'm also going to post on the description below, where the guy, you know, you're hopping out of your Titan. If you guys have played Titanfall before, the Titan explodes and you kind of eject out, and then I think the same thing was happening to one of the other guys, one of his enemies. So he like grappling hooked him and, you know, shot him in the face. It was great. And then they had anti-gravity grenades. So they threw a grenade. This guy threw a grenade where maybe like 3 or 4 enemies were standing, and they all just started floating and waving their hands around and everything. They couldn't move, and he just took his time and shot and killed all of them. It was fantastic. So I'm sure they didn't show us everything. All the new weapons and everything you have, and of course this one's going to have a campaign mode. So this is shaping up to be an amazing ride with Titanfall 2. Next one, I am really excited about this. Friday the 13th video game. They showed a bunch of footage from the camper's perspective, not the camper, but the counselor's perspective, and then from Jason's perspective. And if you guys have been watching my channel, you know all about this game. I'm a really big supporter of these guys. Helped them a lot with the Kickstarter and been promoting them like crazy until they reached their goal, and they reached their goal and exceeded it, even got into some stretch goals. But the gameplay looked awesome. It was pre-alpha, so of course it's you know, there's a lot of polish that needs to be done, but the gameplay itself looked pretty amazing. You had Jason's mom in his head while he was, you know, trying to kill people. You know, she was like giving him hints and clues. He had some teleporting ability, which explains why he walks super slow and is able to get all the way across the freaking forest in front of you and kill you in a second. He also had X-ray, where he can kind of see, and almost like infrared, so you can like see inside of homes and see people walking array from, you know, miles away or whatever. So it was great. It looked great. It played great. There are some things that, you know, people were kind of not digging, and that seems like Jason was nerfed. He just was way too powerful, and it wasn't any kind of chance for a counselor. But this is pre-alpha, so there's a lot of things that need to change, a lot of things they're working on, but overall, gameplay looked awesome. I loved it. I thought it looked great. Battlefield 1. It's everything that it should be. It reminds me of the old Battlefield, reminds me of the old Call of Duty games, and it looks great. I mean, there's not really much to say. I mean, we've all played the old, you know, World War II, you know, games from back in the day, so we know how it goes. And it looks the part. It looks fantastic and amazing. And I'm actually interested to see what they do with this, because I was never into Battlefield. But, I mean, it could be good. It looks like it's going to be good, so we'll see. One of the biggest things that I liked out of the PlayStation conference, and, I mean, I was really decided. I'm like, should I do the podcast now? Should I wait till after the PlayStation conference is over? Because every year, it does not fail. PlayStation has maybe 1 or 2 things that excite me, but everything else is pretty much a dud. They kind of suck when it comes to this stuff, in my personal opinion. If you like it, you know, good for you, but me personally, not digging it. But this one's pretty good. I will say the conference was very overwhelming. It was just game after game after game after game after game, which is great when you have a new console coming out and you want to kind of showcase all the cool stuff that's going to be for it. You know, when they did this a couple years ago, when they talked about, oh yeah, we were launching the PS4 and these are games for it, it was fantastic. But the fact that you're doing it now, it's like, dude, I need someone to come out and explain these games to me. Most of the games were all new IPs, and there was no one out there saying, oh, we're going to be doing this, and the game mechanic's going to be about this, and the story is about this. There was none of that. I'm like, dude, you can't just dump a bunch of trailers on us. That is the most laziest thing you could do, is just put together. I can do that. I can go grab a bunch of trailers, you know, from YouTube or whatever, or from anywhere, and dump them in somebody's face and say, here, this is what I got for you guys. You know, this is my press conference, a bunch of trailers. So I thought that was kind of a cheap way to go. Kojima showed up, of course, and showed us, I don't know what he showed us exactly. It was just some CGI, and it didn't make much sense. But, you know, people are happy he's working, so that's great for him. But one of the standout things for me and the PlayStation conference was God of War. Now, God of War was one of the reasons. God of War and Twisted Metal were the reasons that I bought a PlayStation to begin with, and I was really disappointed by the last couple of God of Wars. God of War 1 through 3 were amazing. They were fantastic, epic. Everything else that was God of War, it pretty much sucked. And the last God of War that was made was really, really bad. I can't even remember the name. It was so bad. But this one looks cool. It takes place after 3, clearly. Kratos is old. He remarried, had a son. He's teaching his son how to hunt. And we know the backstory is Norse mythology. We know that because if you go and dig, you can find this stuff. But again, there was no one out there to tell us that. They just showed us the trailer and moved on to the next game. So as you can tell, I have a problem with that. But it was cool to see Kratos there. It was cool to see him fighting, Norse demons and being kind of the Viking land where it was all snow and stuff. So it's shaping up to be a good game. And it might very well be a good reason to buy a PlayStation 4 because it looks awesome. There was a lot of VR stuff. Again, game after game after game after game. But it was just like, this is the VR stuff and I'm going to shove this down your throat. I'm still not buying into the VR. I know everybody's going in. Valve has their VR system. Sony has their VR system. Microsoft has their VR system. So everyone's going all in. I'm just going to kind of sit back and play it by ear and see how it goes. Like I said, I watched a few videos on VR and people were just kind of bumping into stuff and bumping into their walls, walking around and stuff. And it looks like a big mess. But I will say the Star Trek and Star Wars VR looked pretty awesome because they sat still. They had controllers in their hand. Like the Star Trek one, they were on the bridge looking around. Everybody played a part. So you had one guy that was a captain, one guy that was an engineer, one guy that was piloting the ship. So everybody had a role to play. And if one person didn't play that role, then the ship wouldn't operate, or they could be in trouble. If the engineer doesn't put on thrusters when the captain says so, they could be stuck somewhere. Or if the captain forgets to get an order, then no one moves at all. So it's pretty cool how they did that. I thought that was pretty amazing, and that's probably the only reason that I would buy VR from everything that I've saw so far. They did show some Star Wars stuff, you being in an X-Wing at space, and I think it was actually a TIE fighter. Maybe it was a TIE fighter. I don't remember if they showed the outside of which you were driving, but it might have been. I'm pretty sure it was probably an X-Wing because you were fighting a bunch of TIE fighters. But I digress. A lot of space battles was going on. It looked pretty cool seeing the cockpit and turning around. So that was pretty cool too. So the Star Wars and Star Trek stuff was pretty cool. I'd probably get it more for the Star Trek just because that was awesome. I think I was better. And last but not least, one of the things that really blew me away at E3 was the new Spider-Man game. Again, we don't know much about it. We just saw the trailer. And it wasn't a gameplay trailer. It was all. If it was a gameplay trailer, that was pretty fantastic. But I'm pretty sure maybe the scene when he was kind of rolling through the window. I don't know. To me, it all looked like it wasn't gameplay. It was just kind of some cutscenes they threw together and make it look awesome. So the hashtag was Spiderman PS4. So I'm assuming it's a PS4 exclusive. But Sony has been great at displaying games that are for everybody and saying, not having this PlayStation exclusive tag on the end, but just kind of playing it and pretending that it's their own. So I don't know. But overall, I thought E3 was amazing. It was a lot better than last year, I thought. There was a lot of really, really good surprises, a lot of leaked stuff that got officially announced, which was great because it gave you some kind of anticipation. So I thought it was really well done. I watched E3 through a variety of different places, Twitch, IGN, YouTube. I think IGN probably did the best because they kept me interested and engaged in between conferences. So hats off to IGN. I don't think anybody really won E3. I think the Xbox conference was pretty fantastic. I enjoyed everything about it, every bit of it, and everything that they announced was just amazing to me. The PlayStation conference I thought it was really cool, but I was really overwhelmed and I'm kind of upset of the lack of information on these games. But overall, I thought it was okay. But I really think it should have been better. Ubisoft, of course, you had Aisha Tyler there, and she was doing her thing, and we all know how she is with the foul mouth and acting a little crazy here and there. But you know what? They think it's a party, so you know, hats off to them. But all in all, it was good. It was good. This is the big day, so this is the only video. I mean, the only thing that I'll be doing as far as E3. Everything else is going to be kind of games and more gameplay stuff, showing demos and stuff like that. But everything that needs to be announced pretty much gets announced on Monday on E3. So, what did you guys think of E3? What was your favorite conference? What was your favorite game? What are you looking forward to? What are you surprised by? Let me know. I love talking to you guys. And I will continue to do podcasts and videos forever. I feel like in my head forever. So like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, everybody, so long.